We got another video request here from DNDo. If you got a video request, you can go to subscribestar.com/dursttheworst, and I will do my best to accommodate you. But for now, we got BASED Jim Breuer is canceling all shows at venues that have vaccine requirements and calls out celebs for selling their souls. Man, I haven't even watched this video yet, and I already know how fucking based this is going to be. Because we've seen all the fucking rich assholes, like AOC, they don't have to wear a mask, but the plebs do. Masks and vaxes are for the serfs, basically. And so, yeah, if you support this fucking shit, you are selling your souls. That is an apt way to put it. But let's see what the comedian has to say here.
And always remember this. You may be a big celebrity. You may be a huge name in the entertainment world. You may be one of the biggest sports stars in the world, but you know what? That doesn't mean you're moral, doesn't mean you're smart,
awesome,
doesn't mean you're a good person. All that means is that you are a slave to this, you're a slave to vanity, you're a slave to the dictatorship to keep you on top of that mountain. And that is evil. It is dark, it's creepy, it's soulless. Soulless. So that's on you. All you names that are trying to come out and make your stance and tell people what you think they should be doing. I'm telling you, the Wilmot Theater, I'm not doing it.
Awesome.
It's for December 3rd. And I'm not apologizing. I will not do a show where they force you to come out and laugh. And the only way you can do that is that you need to get a shot? No. Or you got to go prove. No. So unfortunately, the Wellmont Theater, not doing it. And the Royal Oak Theater, not doing it. I will say this about the Royal Oak. They asked if I would not cancel and reschedule. They believe and they have hopes that these big companies that do all the touring and book these venues and own the venues and monopolize the venue and get paid by big pharmaceutical to make lots of money.
Yeah.
They're hoping that this changes. But until it does, I cannot perform these venues. I will not perform. I would never put my child in that predicament.
Oh, how awesome is that, dude? That's amazing. See, that's using your platform to stand up for what's right, dude. Yeah, it's true. Like all these big companies, they own a fuck ton. Okay, here in Milwaukee, in Summerfest, now Fall Fest, because they kicked it back a couple of months. Yeah, you have to show a freaking Vax card to go to this big open-air festival that's basically in one big parking lot, okay? You have to show a Vax card and probably wear a mask, too. I mean, a bunch of people are going to be going to a fucking open outdoor festival with masks on, which is absolutely psychotic. People that still buy into this, I've said it before and I'll say it again, you're not in my corner. Like, you're dead to me. If you still buy into COVID hysteria, flu, coof hysteria, you are not in my corner. I view you as compromised and dangerous. Kudos to Jim Breuer for doing this. I'll see a couple of responses. What does this have to say? What is random?
Yeah, that's crazy. And people falling for it, hook, line, and sinker. They watch the news like this. Like a parakeet.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The numbers are going up. The numbers are going up. The numbers are going up. Wear
Cases.
your mask. Wear your mask. Wear your mask. Wear your mask.
Cases.
Grandma killer. Grandma killer. Grandma killer.
Oh my God, get back.
Cases. Yeah, the word cases. I never want to hear that fucking word ever again. He looks good. Did you get a facelift or something? Clean up his... No. See, that's people are so goofy. They think that if you look decent, it's because you got surgery now. You altered your body. This is like the vax world that we're living in. You altered your body somehow. Yeah, no more Abazab. He probably stopped blazing and like drinking or whatever. Whatever the fuck else he was doing. Wait, whatever. Blah, 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 blah. Looks good, looks good. Oh, here we go. More replies. If it loads, okay. Love the clarity with which he expresses these sentiments and the moral compass he's following. True. The way governments are clamping down on individual freedoms is scandalous. Great to see people fighting back. Well, it's Big Pharma in collusion with the government. The government is paid by Big Pharma. Big business is paid by another big business, Big Pharma. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if, Summerfest was getting some sort of kickback to require vax proof just to get across the to get over into the show. I think I plan on going there just to see, if they give a shit. If I could just be like, yeah, maybe just like flash them the piece of paper with like nothing on it, and maybe the ticket taker just won't give a shit and let you in. We'll see. It might be some creepy like QR code nonsense as well, mark of the beast type shit. But this is what the media had to say and social media had to say. Comedian won't do the show at venues that require proof of COVID vaccination for guests because he shouldn't, because that's psychotic. He's got a point. At a Jim Breuer show, it's already easy to distance from the other audience members. They're funny. So yeah, the only response that these idiots have is basically like, dude doesn't sell tickets or whatever. Shocked to hear that Jim Breuer is being asked to perform at all. Wow, Emily Mermain, you got 1,200 likes for that one, for that scalding hot take. The bar is so fucking low, dude. The bar is so freaking low for women in particular. But this is heartbreaking. Seeing Jim Breuer was on my bucket list, said no one at all. Yes, okay. So the only thing that they have to say is that he's apparently, to them, low status. Like, that's the only thing that these fucking idiots have to say to people that are non-vax or anti-mask or whatever, is like that you are a low status pleb, basically. You see how they're setting us up for some like Kulak treatment, for some frickin' Holodomor treatment? Do you see that? I mean, am I the only one that fucking sees that? They're setting us up for what's going on in Australia. They're setting us up for the frickin' camps. And if not the camps, like, yeah, you'll be locked down in your pod apartment that you probably already live in, all right, to never leave your house. Like, they're already setting that up, okay? Jim Breuer and Nicki Minaj to hold concert for unvaccinated Trinidadians with enormous balls. Okay. Like, you're unhealthy or whatever if you don't take a jab that got approved in, 3 to 6 months, whereas every other vaccine generally takes years, okay? It's rushed. It's experimental. It's not needed. Herd immunity. Masks are bullshit. Social distancing and shutdowns were bullshit. Putting masks on kids is evil sadism. Everybody fucking knows it. Anybody who's anybody knows it, at least intuitively. And if you can't say it, if you say anything other than that, again, you're not in my corner. Since Jim Breuer is trending here, is a DM I got from someone comparing vax proof or negative tests to segregation, and my reply. Okay, that is kind of like a stupid, it's kind of a stupid boomer take to compare it to segregation. Again, it's more like, some Holodomor shit. They're trying to cast the plebs or like the workers out into the cold, basically, for starvation and freezing to death. That's basically what it really is. They're trying to limit your access to food eventually. They're going to limit your access to medicine. They have already done that. There's doctors that won't operate on you if you're not vaxxed, that sort of thing. So they're just trying to create a group of second-class citizens who can be abused at will. It's and again, I reiterate, all these responses, their responses are indicative of that. Oh, well, Jim Breuer was low status anyway, so it's not like we have to care about his opinion. See, I was skeptical about the medical advice I got from Joe Rogan. Horse dewormer. So I went to Jim Breuer for a second opinion. Idiot. Yeah, Joe Rogan prescribed something from his doctor and he got better in 2 days. So it's you probably, in this instance, you probably should be listening to him for advice because he was right. It doesn't really fucking matter. Doctors can be wrong. Scientists can be wrong. They lie. They're just as much in the pockets of Big Pharma as anybody. Joe Rogan, Jim Breuer are not in the pockets of Big Pharma. So you probably should listen to them in this instance. Yeah, Kadoy. Jim Breuer says masks are segregation and vaccines are slavery because he's dumb. No, well, the vaccines are coercion, It's, I mean, when I say that it's kind of a boomer take to call it segregation, what I mean is that the boomers are trying to compare it to like Jim Crow South. They're trying to bring a racial element into it. They're trying to say that like, oh, Martin Luther King's rolling over in his grave. They invoke Martin Luther King and Hitler and all that. Look up the early life section of the CEO of Pfizer, please. Find out that, yeah, no, it is in fact kind of stupid to compare any of this to Hitler. You should probably be comparing it to Jewish Bolshevism and the Holodomor. That's probably a way, eventually, like, way more accurate comparison. Okay, so resist the tyranny. Good. Good for Jim Breuer. If you don't push back against these types of policies, then they will continue forever. Oh, starting off strong, but says, I'm vaccinated, cuck. You either trust me as a customer to make the right move or you don't, and if you don't, then I will do what I can to not give you my money. But you already gave Big Pharma your money, you fucking idiot. You voluntarily, Jason rants on KTTH radio, you already gave them your money voluntarily before they made it mandatory. So it's just like, you voluntarily got yourself jabbed when now it's just like they're going to force you to get jabbed. So you probably should have put up more of a fight, don't you think? You kind of cucked. You kind of buckled. Actor-comedian Jim Breuer on Joe Rogan curing COVID. Jim just made a whole lot of new fans. Woo. Something like that. This is the funniest thing Jim Breuer has done in decades. Oh, okay, yeah. Right, I mean, I'm not, like... I'm not vouching for Jim Brewer's funniness or what have you. Like, I'm not dying on that hill. I probably would never go see Jim Breuer. Half Baked was kind of funny at the time, but it's not anymore. It's just, that's not the point. Again, the point is to paint him as low status for opposing this tyranny, because it is tyranny. It's undue tyranny. William DeFriend chimes in. Jim Breuer and Joe Rogan know that Big Pharma makes money whether you get the vaccine or ivermectin or Regeneron or antibody treatments, right? In fact, they make the least money if you get the vaccine and never require multiple costly treatments. Dudes are nuts. What? Dudes, no, you are nuts for thinking that healthy, able-bodied people who don't get wasted all the time, you think that they will require treatments that are costly. Like, that's just absolute fucking insanity. Eat a salad, don't get wasted, don't eat soy, don't take experimental vaccines that you don't need. Nice to see one of the big ticket sellers take a stand. See, it's just, that's all they got. That's all these fucking idiots got. See, paying money to see Jim Breuer, okay. Seeing Jim Brewer's low status, Nicki Minaj of Eric Clapton's, okay. Not funny. Just not funny. Oh, look. Oh, his face is frozen in, yeah. Lionel Day, Trump administration created the vaccine. Segregation is a pretty strong word to use. Sorry, people don't want to end up on a ventilator due to someone else's. Shut the fuck up, dude. Shut the fuck up. You're not going to be put on a ventilator. The people that so-called were unvaxxed and died and are showing regret. You look at them, they're morbidly obese. There was one picture of a fat lady in the hospital. She's got a freaking milkshake in her hand. She's like a morbidly obese woman. And the headline is like, unvaxxed person expresses regret for being on hospital bed. It's like, no. Just no. But we got some local... What is this? I have to stick to my morals. Comedian Jim Breuer cancels show over New Jersey theater's vaccination policy because he's based on that one. What do they got to say? Coronavirus pandemic, though. Big TV, big virus icon here. So it's like fear-mongering by the Blake anchor person. But we'll see what this video has to say here. If it'll play.
Jersey-based comedian Jim Breuer is canceling a December show at Montclair's Wellmont Theater due to the theater's vaccination policy. In a Facebook Live, Breuer, who lives in Chester, said he will not do the December 3rd show, among other performances, due to what he's calling segregation by the theaters.
I have to stick to my morals. I have to stick to what I know is right.
Based.
As a human to another human, when you have to be forced, bribed, dictated, which is basically what's going on. I will not do a show where they force you to come out and laugh, and the only way you can do that is that you need to get a shot? No. Or you got to go no.
Meantime, many performers have taken the opposite approach and will not take the stage unless audiences are vaccinated. That includes comedian Patton Oswalt and the band Fish, who performed in Atlantic City last month.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Fish are not healthy, and the Fish fans are they're selling each other like hallucinogenic drugs in the parking lot. I mean, reminds me of the Anal Cunt song, beating up hippies at a Fish concert for their drugs. But anyway, that was a fun video request from DN Do. But again, if you have a video request, something you want me to go over, you can go to subscribestar.com/dursttoworst, throw the $9 tier, and I will do pretty much any video you want, unless it's going to get me banned or something, or if it's like outdated or irrelevant or too cringe for me to handle or whatever, which is pretty difficult for me to do these days. But yeah, that was pretty awesome of Jim Breuer. I just got to reiterate. Comparisons to segregation or MLK or Hitler or whatever, like, that's a little bit boomer and a little bit cringe. Only in that it's just not quite an accurate representation. But what it is medical tyranny, corporate tyranny. And it's more like the Holodomor. Like, that's what I predict it's going to be more akin to. But anyway, Durst out.